Hi! Can everyone hear me and see me? Today, we're good. Yay! All righty. Who is with me today? Hi, Tony. Hi, Tamra. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Mary. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Catherine. Hi, John's iPhone. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Jeannie. Hello, Alyssa. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Lise. Good to see you. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's go ahead and open up our class and then we'll dive in. Okay. Deep inhale. Deep exhale, release. Breathing in. Breathing out. Right now, aligning our energies together today for the highest of good. Whatever needs to be said, heard, and cleared, let it be. Inviting in love. Inviting in protection. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Beautiful. You can open your eyes. Yeah! How are we feeling today? How are we doing? Feeling good? Yeah? Okay. I'm excited. Today is a beautiful foggy day. September, the sun comes back here. So I only have a few more foggy days left. And then it comes back in November. So I'll be good. Good morning, hearts, hearts, hearts. Note to self, don't assume that 8 minutes is enough time to update your computer before Zoom class. That's so funny. I've been having so many tech glitches lately. It's insane. Like the other day, yesterday, I was trying to hop on Facebook Live and my phone just froze in right before I was posting, and it had me frozen for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, so I went and grabbed my iPad, came back, and by the time I came back, it was like getting ready to go on. I'm like, come on. So I tried to do it there, and then it stopped again. I'm like, okay, the iPad. And it was just like one of those things. I'm like, whatever. Like, I just can't. Hey, Mickey, I just cannot with the tech stuff. I'm ready for it to just be done. So this week 4, yes. Oh my gosh. This stuff goes by really fast, huh? 6 weeks sounds like, oh my gosh, that's such a long time. And then you start diving in and it's like, whew. So week 4, and we are talking about clarity. Now, this is something that, I think is the most important step of manifesting, and maybe not the most important, but I feel like you're not going to get anywhere if you're not clear. Right? You don't want to bring in chaos, right? You want to be very clear about what you're bringing in. And I think we all have a different language, right? So it's interesting that we pick words that are very similar, right? Abundance to me means something very different than abundance to you. And it doesn't make anyone better than the other or anyone right or wrong. We have a different definition. We need different things. And I think this became very clear to me once I started to manifest because, I'm kind of a rebel. And I don't like to go with the flow all the time. Like if somebody has a statement, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, that's mine. Like I want to have my own, I want my own personal statement. I want my own thumbprint. That's something that I do in business as well, right? Like I don't want to just repeat what everyone else teaches. Like I want to create my own teachings. And this is where I really thrive in manifesting. And I'm excited. Everything that you're learning has been, things that I've tweaked with mom and kind of things that have worked for me. And that's everything that I share, right? I don't share things that I haven't tried or that haven't worked. So there you go. I have to laugh because especially now that we're in Mercury retrograde, how many communication glitches have you been having? Like, seriously, is it just me? I'm like, am I speaking a different language? I'm pretty sure I speak English. Like, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm saying. And like, I've had a few instances where I literally have had to say, what does this mean to you? Like, what do you hear me saying? Because I'm not saying anything to make you upset. I'm not saying anything, like, I don't know why it escalated to this point. Like, what do you hear me say? And it's funny that that's coming up in, week 4. Not so funny that it comes up, but it is funny that it comes up in Clarity Week, because, it just reminds me how different our definitions can be. And so when we're taking a look at our manifesting, right, we want to really understand what we're asking for, right? Like, I don't want to just throw a word out there that I don't know exactly how it makes me feel, that I don't know how it's going to, help me. Oh my gosh, there's so many kids on this call. Hi, all the kids. Hi. I want to have a kids manifesting class. That'd be so much fun. Hi. That's so cool. I love seeing that. I actually have a Young Dreamer album, and it's super fun. It was my favorite meditation album to make, and it was like, fall on the floor, like, dance around the room. Like, it's fun. So anyways, I just see them everywhere. Hello. Playfulness. It's good that they're on here. We need some playfulness in our energy and not be so serious all the time. So clarity. Do you know what you want? Do you know? Are you able to articulate what you want? How does it go when you talk to other people? How does it go when you talk about what you want to others? I'm curious what comes up. I won't say your names. I won't tell my kids about the manifesting class just yet. I cannot stand the thought of a full-size pony in my yard right now. That's funny. Yeah, and they will be like, bing, I'll be right there. That's so funny. Now, if it's hard for you to articulate what you want with others, it's going to be hard for you to articulate what you want with yourself. And there comes a time where we have to get very honest with ourselves. And this part's not so fun, right? This part's not so fun because it feels good to just manifest abundance. Yeah, it feels good. I don't really know what that means, but it feels really good. It means everything, right? I want to manifest everything. It's so funny. I love when I work with people and I'm like, what do you want? And then it's like, brrr. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to write it all. I want it all. Okay, let's just sum that up into 2 words. I want everything. And that's good when you want everything. But here's the thing that happens. When you manifest, I don't know if you know this, but manifesting is literally inviting in change, right? It's changing your life, right? Now, that's why we don't use that word, because who likes change? Okay, nobody, right? I mean, some sick people do. I like change every once in a while, okay? That can sometimes be a very good thing for me. I don't necessarily like the process of change. This is what happens. We manifest in the middle, okay? When we're calling in love and we're connecting to that love, we're holding hands, we're walking on the beach, we have nicknames for each other, we're like planning our wedding. It's so fun. You laugh at all my jokes, like all this stuff, right? That's manifesting in the middle. Who manifests the dating process in phase 1? Nobody. Nobody says, oh my God, I really want to, just embrace an awkward time for myself where I don't know how other people feel about me and I don't know if I'm even pretty and I don't know how to act. I don't know these things. I just want to like really poke my insecurities in every area of my life. No one signs up for that, right? But we are calling in the middle. And you know what happens before the middle? The beginning. The beginning happens. Hi, Lacey. The beginning. And so we're manifesting the middle, and then the beginning comes, and we're like, ew, this isn't what no, that's not what I asked for. Right? We start to get huffy. This is what I call huffy. What? Right? Like, what's wrong? Why isn't this working? Right? And we tend to push things away. Hold on, I got some comments over here. Okay. I've been telling myself lately, I'm willing to believe that I know exactly what I want. I'm 41 and still trying to figure it out. I feel like Julia Roberts with the eggs. What eggs do I like? How do I like my eggs? That is so funny. That is from Runaway Bride. There is a scene in the movie. I reference it a lot because it's one of my favorite scenes where she doesn't even know what type of egg she likes, right? And this is very good for this class. In Runaway Bride, she's like, Richard Gere says, oh, you don't even know what kind of eggs you like. With that guy, it was egg whites. With the other guy, it was, poached, like all these things. She's like, I know what eggs I like. And then he says, and it's like how the current relationship of her life likes his eggs. And she's like, oh, so there's like the scene in the movie where she's trying to figure out who she is. And she makes every type of egg possible. And she's like, what eggs do I like? And I just think that's so great. Okay, I've started telling people what changes I'm making and what path I want. I'm careful how much I share with certain people, though. This is key, right? This is where I say, the best people in the world just sometimes don't mean it, It's like you get so excited, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to do all these things. And people are like, yay, yay for you. You get on Facebook. Right? Like you set out and you're writing this like, oh my gosh, I'm making a declaration to the universe right now, to all my family. I'm like pouring my heart out. I'm vulnerable. I'm excited. Oh my God. And you put it out and it's like nothing, crickets, and then a little pink from somebody you don't even know. And then if it's in a group, it's like seen by everyone, right? Seen by everyone, liked by no one. That's what it should say, really, when you post a group. Seen by everyone, liked by no one. Damn. I didn't even tell people. They're like, oh, that's so great for you. Like their face morphs. It's like, yeah, I'm very careful with who I tell my dreams to. With you guys, I tell you guys, because you guys are actually, hopeful and excited and on the same path that I am. You get it, right? Like, I trust you guys. Oh my gosh. I've been manifesting abundance. Today went for a job interview and I'm so ready for a change. Yay! Job interview! I know we did some clearing work around that, so I'm excited to see how that turns out. This or something better. Right? That is one of the phrases I always say, this or something better. That helps me in my expectation zone because let's be real. Hello, we all go there, right? Like, hello, we assume and expect everything. So even me, so I gotta be like, this or something better. And then if I really want it, I say, and so it is. And so it is, let it be. Beautiful. So getting very clear, right? I like to ask myself this multiple times a day when I'm kind of working in my clarity statement for what I'm manifesting. Like, okay, what do I like? I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but when I go shopping, I almost have a meltdown every time because, it's like, do I not know my own style? Do I not have style? Am I not a person? Like, and it just like pokes everything. I'm like, I don't even know what size I am. I don't even know how to pick out clothes. Like, I don't even know what I look like, I guess, because apparently I thought I looked way better than I do. Like, you know what I mean? It just like all of a sudden, like this shitstorm just comes in and it's like, I don't know what I am. Who am I? It's so funny. I've been kind of reclaiming who I am because when you go on the manifesting journey, you're going to have to uncover new layers of this all the time. You're never going to find the answer and then be done. It's a constant unfolding of who you are. It's so funny. I've been connecting with parts of myself that I feel like I shouldn't be. So I'm a Scorpio, and growing up as a kid, I used to read what a Scorpio was, and I'd be like, I'm a terrible person. Like, I would read this and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm a Scorpio. And like, I would ask my mom, I'd be like, because I was born premature. So I'm like, what was my actual birthday supposed to be? And she'd be like, oh, it's in like December 6th or something. I'm like, so I looked it up. I'm like, Sagittarius. And so for the longest time, I would look up the horoscopes for Sagittarius. And I was like, I'm not even going to be Scorpio for like the longest part of my life. And then as I got older, it became very clear that I am the epitome of Scorpio. Like, I am so Scorpio. And I just kind of had to claim that. And it was a funny moment in my life. And I'm like, you know what? F it. I am Scorpio. And I just, started to claim it. And I started to embrace this contrast inside of me. And I think sometimes when we put labels on ourselves, like spiritual, right? What happens is we get a lot of things we're supposed to be. And so I've really stepped away from this spiritual label. I say I'm not a spiritual teacher. I'm a teacher and I teach spiritual things. Like there's a lot of spiritual things I teach, but I definitely don't want to put myself into a box of what I'm supposed to be. And, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. So, I just kind of weed people out like that. However, kind of really getting in tune with who you are, embracing all sides of that. Yes, I am super, super emotional. And yeah, I can flip to anger like that. But I've worked through embracing that side of me, and I'm not trying to change it. But, I do try to bring in some, healthy habits and some not fly off the handle. I'm still passionate though. This is the thing. So I've been kind of on this quest to really step back into who I am this year. And I sent a text, so first I went back to the best relationship I ever had, right? And like the one where I felt most myself. And I went back to a relationship that I had on Wall Street. And I was dating this finance guy, and it was just like totally opposite of everything that I've ever dated. It's just, I felt alive. It was so much fun. And so I sent him a text like a few months ago. And I was like, hey, because we still stay in touch. We're still friends, And I'm like, hey, can I ask you a question? Who was I when we were together? And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just need to remember who I am. He's like, okay. And so he started to say these things. And it was funny to hear these things because the things that, stand out about me, I just don't feel that right now. And then it's like, I'm remembering who I was in this relationship. I'm like, that's who I am. That's what I want to draw out in myself. Because that was the most confident I ever was. That was the most fun I ever had. And that was the most sure I ever felt in myself. Now, my external environment, now the external side feels really good, right? But I'm trying to connect and be complete full circle. So I'm just collecting information, right? And then I go to my manifesting. And knowing that this is who I am, this is what I want to feel, this is how I react, I have all this information. I then go to the table and go, what do I want? Right? How do I want to feel? What do I want? And I think this is where it gets a little tricky, because you have to be willing to be honest with yourself and not be the version of yourself that you think you are. Like, I took the 5 love languages test. Has anyone ever taken that? Like, yeah, okay, a few of you. How you receive love. So, like, in my mind, how I receive love is like gratitude. Or like, I don't know, like influencing people or inspiration. Like, there's only like 5 different things. But I took that quiz, and do you know what my number one thing was? By the way, it's not what you think. It is gifts. I got gifts. Okay. So apparently I take this test and I go, oh, apparently you can buy my love. It was like the most like, I'm not a materialistic person. I am very, very spiritual and connected. And there are things that I cannot like I could never be in a relationship with somebody that just bought me stuff, right? Like that just I have so much depth to who I am, but apparently on top of the depth, I need some gifts. And if I go to my manifesting table and I'm like, no, I'm spiritual. I don't need people to buy me things. I'm not going to be happy. I have to embrace all of the things about myself that maybe I don't want to see. That's okay. Interesting that, most of my relationships that haven't worked, gifts were never there. I'm like, oh, interesting. And it's not just gifts. It's like the thought behind it, by the way. When you take the test, it's like somebody put so much thought into something and brought it to you, and it's like, oh, I got this because it reminded me. So there's like much more to it, but it's gifts. That's all it says. Where can I take that? Let me, hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Google. I love Google. The 5 languages of love. It's actually really, really eye-opening. I learned a lot about myself. Yay. Okay, they've got a quiz on there. It's free. You just have to take some time. It's pretty good. I think it's supposed to be like I think it's a like Christian thing. I don't know. I think it's like a church thing, but I don't know. I took it and it made sense. I was like, this is awesome. More clarity. I'm all about finding who I am. I've got life path numbers, horoscopes, love languages, Myers-Briggs test. I mean, I like go all out, right? Who am I? Let me study myself. You're welcome, Sheila. You're welcome. Okay, it's more about the fact that they thought about you enough and know you enough to be able to buy you. Exactly, Jeannie. See, you know me. It is that. When somebody gets you a gift card, it's like, do you even know who I am? Unless it's like a really big amount and you're like, thanks. You really know me. Thanks so much. That's so funny. But it's being able to show up to the table and go, you know what? I do need this. And that's where you need the confidence, you need the worth, you need all those things built up inside of you. Because if I go to that table and go, I'm not sure if I'm ready to ask for somebody to show up in my life that's able to really know me. That requires me to be vulnerable. Am I ready to be vulnerable? Because it's great to just call in the thing, right? Yay, love. But I've got to be vulnerable. Am I ready for that? And that's where I say, sometimes what you want isn't necessarily what you need. It's interesting. I'm working with VIPs all year, and we start out the year with I want it all. It's like all these notes, and it's just like, okay, so everything, cool. Now, where do we begin? And we go to the place that causes hummingbirds. Yay! Hummingbirds are here. I wish I could turn it around to see. Yes, they're so cute. Where was I? So I get distracted with science. I have to say it, right? Okay, yes. Sometimes you need, you get what you need, but it's not what you want. Exactly. So we start out with the place that causes us most discomfort. And typically for us, that's work, right? How many of us go to work? Oh my gosh, my job sucks. If only I had a job where I was fulfilled, had my purpose, had all these things, then I would be happy, right? I'll tell you what, if you are feeling discomfort in your job, sure, there are some things there, right? It could feel better. We got some positivity to work out. We got some stuff we can shift. But I'll tell you what, how's your love life? How's that feeling? Because typically we're avoiding something. when we're focused on how bad something is. And so to go to where you really are able to see, what am I feeling without distraction? What do I need without the noise? Okay? When you kind of put down things on the table and you set down, okay, work, love, purpose, all these things, abundance, me. I never like to start out with manifesting long term because my future self, she's a rock star. She's like so rich. She's so in love. Like she's got like life together. Okay, adulting 102. Like she passed 101. She's just, her house is always clean. She always has people over. It's like no dishes in the sink at all. It's sparkly. I mean, when people come over, all of a sudden she has a tea set, you know? Like I don't own this tea set, but she has one. And she's like, can I make you a cup of tea? 2 sugars or none? Right? Like it's just this like perfect, she has a couch. Like she has these things that I don't have, right? And so it's unfair for me to go to the future and manifest for me. Because we are 2 different people, her and I. Even though we share the same face and name, we are 2 different people because guess what? I have dishes in my sink. I don't have a couch. My house is not clean all the time. I have the floor drobe that happens. I don't know when this happens. It's just all of a sudden my wardrobe is on the floor. Like how did this happen? You're supposed to be on the hangers. You know, I always say like, man, it is a full-time job to keep a house clean and keep yourself fed. Like if I was this other version of me, right? I would have someone clean my house weekly, daily. And I'd have a personal chef because I just don't like I don't like what I have to eat. It's like, man, it takes so much time to cook, it takes so much time to prep, to shop, to like, geez, I don't have time. I have to inspire the world. I cannot worry about what I'm gonna eat, right? It's just like wears down on the soul. Like I'm out there, I'm like on the call, I'm like, hold on, let me just scrub the toilet really quick before, I help you with your life. Hold on, right? It's just, but guess what? That's what I do. I scrub 2 toilets in this house. I do everything, right? And it's just, that's where I am. That's where I am. I'm so with you on the food front, right? For me, it's the laundry basket. I used to have the chair drobe. So I'd have a chair and I'd just continue folding things over on the chair until it's like so high up the chair tips. But now it's just become the floor drobe. I feel you. I'm constantly feeding myself and my kids, my house, my laundry. The struggle is real. So today, right, we need to ask what we need today. Future goals are great. But if I were to sit down and try to manifest owning a multi-million-dollar home today, I'm gonna go into panic because it's so far from my reality. And yet I still want those things one day and I don't have to settle, but I don't want a reminder every day of what I'm gonna have in the next 10 years. Like that doesn't feel good to me. For some of you, you might feel good looking at what you're gonna get the next 10 years. But for me, I like to look at what I'm gonna get the next 10 days, right? Like, don't tell me 10 years from now. That's almost like painful. It's like, oh, let me show you who you're gonna be with 10 years from now. But here's all the crappy people you have to get before then. And it's like, well, I don't wanna do that. Just like, why'd you tell me that, right? Like, we don't really want to know. Yes. Manifest an awesome cleaning person and the money to pay that person. That is what I need, right? Like that is awesome to manifest. And guess what? That doesn't require owning a multi-million-dollar home, right? It's like, how come we put things like, oh, once I own that home, then I'll have all this help. Why can't we just have all this help today? And so how I manifest is what do I need today? What would make me happy today? And that's where I get honest with myself, because today, all right, today what would make me happy is getting the dishes in the dishwasher and then getting them in the cupboards. Like, how many of us have clean dishes, but they're in the dishwasher still? Like, when you go, oh, like whenever I'm at mom's house, is this clean or dirty, right? It's like, they're dirty. Why else would they be clean? No reason. Like, what? I don't know. Never mind. Weird question. We need to be able to be clear. Waking up today. This is the question I love. Because we all take manifesting with the approach of, what would the perfect day look like for us, right? What would the perfect day be? I was watching this show and she was on a date with this guy, and this guy asked her this, and he said, what would your perfect day be? And she's like, well, I would wake up next to my husband, and it'd be early, and my mom would be downstairs, and my son would be running up, and she would make him breakfast so that I could spend more time with my husband in bed. And I'm like watching this, and I'm like, and then I hear his response, and he's like, oh, he's like, I didn't know you had a kid. That's his response. Like, I didn't know you had a son. And she's like, oh, I don't. That's my future son. And it was like, whoa, right? Like, first date, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, hey, note to self, don't do that. Like, I'm taking notes. But how interesting. Somebody asks you, what's your favorite, how would you want to spend your day? And you go way down years in the future. No wonder you're on date 1 again. Because you're not present. Nobody can even spend time with you or be happy with you because you're not even here. You're 10 years from now. To reframe, yes, Famously Single, Tamara, yes. Famously Single is that show. Yes, out me right there. I love it. It's such a good show. I love that show. Anyways, it's really a terrible show, but it's really funny. It's so opposite from this world. But I can even pull a spiritual lesson from Famously Single, okay? This one keeps us current. Now, the question it should be, in your current energy, in your current space, what would be your perfect day today? That's when you start to get very clear on what you need. Wow, I really need some help. Wow, I really need more time. I really need a job. I need to get out of the house, right? You start to become very clear on your needs today. Because when you are future focused, my eyes keep watering, sorry. I'm not crying. Okay. Allergies. When you are future focused, you are living in an alternate reality. Now, manifesting is change, right? It's changing your life. But if we go to the future, there's not much to change there, right? And what we do is we start to compare. What did we learn in Confidence Week? Comparison will kill your confidence. When we go on social media, we see snippets of things, right? We see moments. We don't see the tears it took to get to that moment. And we start to see these perfect lives created. And we'll be here in, sweats and maybe food in our hair that we don't know is there, we just ate a snack. That happens to me sometimes. It's sitting there, how'd that get there? You're sitting there and you're watching TV and then you're scrolling, and you've got just a huge mouth bite, and you're scrolling to this girl and she's got the perfect everything, perfect guy, perfect looks, perfect everything. And you're just damn, right? Instant comparison. What happens then? Confidence. Now, when you go manifest, what's the first thing you think you need to change? Your body. Right? How many of us get stuck on, oh my gosh, when I'm perfect then? Now, it is good to work on your health and your fitness. I'm not saying that that is bad. What I'm saying is, are we getting distracted? Are we getting distracted there? Because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm happy, my body changes. Like I can really see it. Like when I start dating someone, it's like, I didn't know that my stomach could look like that. It's like, because I'm so excited and I'm so happy that I'm not eating every feeling, right? I'm so excited that like what I buy at the grocery store changes, you know? Like I'm not trying to fix things. And so it's interesting. What you need to shift truly is how you want to feel. How you want to feel. If you could wake up today with the list you have to do today, with the people in your house today, with whatever's going on today, what would you need? What do you want? What needs to change? Now, manifesting is really cool because you do get to change some things. Change is what we want. I always go back to this childhood memory of mine where I was kind of a weird kid. I didn't play. My idea of play was very strange. So I used to like draw a diagram of my room and furniture to scale. And then I would rearrange the furniture on the little map. And then I'd rearrange the furniture in the room. And I used to do this like every month. Okay. And I would like clean the blinds, I'd vacuum, I'd scrub the baseboards. It was like, you know, I was clearly going through something, but I would rearrange everything. I'd take everything out of the closet, everything out of the drawers, and I'd put it in the middle of the room. And my mom would go by. I did that too. Okay, so we got some other weirdos on here. It's good. My mom would walk by the room and she'd be like, Kayla, right? Like high-pitched squeal, like, what are you doing? Why is this mess? I'm like, I'm cleaning. I'm reorganizing. It's going to be fine. And she's like, well, and I would always say this, it always looks worse before it gets better. Okay? Just promise me it's going to look great. She's like, okay, all right. And you know what? It always did. It always felt so beautiful. It always felt like this fresh start and it felt so great. But there's always that moment where everything's on the floor first. Because you got to pick what you want up on the shelves and you got to pick how you're going to put it and you got to pick out what you're going to throw out and all those things. So with change, it always looks worse before it gets better. And this is what happens in manifesting. Now, when it's our life, our feelings, when it looks worse, it gets really scary. That's what makes us want to run, or we think I'm not doing it right, or we think, oh my gosh, this isn't that, right? And that's why you have to be very clear in how you want to feel, and you need that confidence that we talked about last week, that trust, that, okay, it always looks messier before it gets better. This is good. I'm exactly where I need to be because it looks really messy. So this is good news that change is coming. Change is good. When you take a look at how you want to feel today, I like to set things up, right? So in clarity for your manifesting, I like to ask myself, what do I need today? And what am I really excited about in the future? I split the manifesting in half into two groups. Okay, what I need today, those are my action steps. What I want long term, those are the feelings and the vibrations. So, how would I feel if I were living in a $10 million home? Like, I don't know. That would be too much for me. I'd probably feel guilty. Let's knock it down a few pegs. $2 million. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I would feel like I don't want to mess it up. I'd want it to look beautiful. I'd want to invite people over. I'd want to enjoy my space with others. Okay. So that feeling needs to be present today, right? Overwhelmed with cleaning and keeping it up. Okay, so if you're already feeling overwhelmed by that, today you need help keeping your home clean, right? There's things where, okay, how can I do this? Maybe I need a schedule. For some of us, we can't just go, hire cleaners. It's like, okay, maybe there's a schedule we could do. Maybe I can start asking for help with other people in the home. Things like that. Sorry about your internet, Lise. Okay, so we have today and we have future. Today, we need to feel the vibrations of how we want to feel in the future and take action steps for the present. You want love? Okay. Let's call in love. My action steps today are going to be signing up for a dating site, calling my friends to see if they have anyone to set me up with, telling people that I'm looking, whatever statement that is, But then I also need to be clear on how I really want to feel and what I need. I'm not going to go here and say, my perfect day is waking up with my husband and my kid that I don't have, right? And make it sound like I'm really living there today. But knowing that I want those things, am I feeling that way with this person? Am I feeling glimmers of those things? Can I see this with this person? And you weed out. If it's money, right? Our future is like, oh my gosh, financial freedom. Right? It's always financial freedom. I don't worry about my bills. I get to take the vacations that I want to take. I don't stress about anything, right? That's here. Today, I'm afraid to open up the mail. I'm afraid to see the bills. I'm afraid. So how can I take action steps here, which is, okay, opening up the bills, setting a budget, kind of taking a look at what is going on with the vibration of financial freedom. This is where you get clear on what you need in your vibration. So a lot of the times you will need to set up sacred spaces to get clear. If you need to open up things that are difficult to look at, knowledge is power. Clarity is the focus. But you can't get clarity without knowing where you are. So for me, when I opened up my bills, I got the fire on, I got candles, got a glass of wine, right? It's like I'm having somebody over for a date. It's like, I'm feeling so good. Got some music on. It's like, okay, I think I'm emotionally prepared to do this. Let's dive in. Let's create this, right? You don't want to open up your bills when the kids are screaming, when, you just paid a big bill and you're freaking out about things. That's not the time to just go in. You need to be as high vibration as possible. But you have to know where you are, right? I think that's the scary thing. I think a lot of times in manifesting, we go, oh, well, I'll just manifest what I need. I don't really need to know where I'm at. You need to know where you're at because you need the action step today, right? And that's the piece that we miss. We need those action steps because you take one step and then the next step and then the next step and the next step and the next step. When you bring in vibration, your version of vibration, things will shift and happen naturally. This is the really cool part where, yes, I believe in magic. I absolutely do. I do not rely on it because I rely on action steps, but I also know things happen that I cannot explain. It's the coolest thing. where I go to is a trust that I'm not going to avoid what I need to see. I'm not going to avoid these things. But I also trust that no matter what I see, it's all going to be taken care of. It really, really is. I'm one of those people where I always turn to money as my fear, right? That's always been my thing. I've always been like, oh, but the bills, right? Like, that's cool. All these gifts are coming, but the bills, like, just are the bills going to be paid, right? It's like those things, right? Always ask that. And I got this answer one day, and it was from the channel that I do. And she said, the bills will be paid. I'm going to say this once. The bills will be paid. You have to trust now. And it's one of those things where it took me a while to practice that. But I realized that what I need safety in my money, because that's my weak spot. And so when you know your weak spot, that's where you're going to get hit the quickest in change. So you can get clarity on the fears that are going to come up as well. And you can kind of notice when they come up before they come up. And the cool thing about fear is when you know it's coming before it's there, it's less scary. It is. It's not a surprise thing that happens to you. So what is your weak spot? For some people, it's their relationship, right? They start to go immediately to, oh my gosh, something's wrong in my relationship. For most of us, it's money, I would say. For most of us, it is. Because as sensitives, right? How many of us identify with being sensitive to energy on some level? Okay, beautiful. Now, I don't claim to know all the answers. However, I could imagine that if we've had some past lives, sensitives are really cool, okay? Sensitives are the ones that were like mermaids and like fairies and things that are like really cool, okay? Sometimes they might be an alien, but like really cool things. Now, let's just say, for example, that, just for the sake of this call, you had a past life where, let's just say you were a mermaid, okay? Let's just say, like, we're on a manifesting call. Why not, right? Okay. You were a mermaid. And, your currency was spreading love. You got everything taken care of by the amount of love that you spread. And then you wake up one day and you're a human. And you're like, but I'm spreading love. I don't get it. What is this human thing called money? Right? And this is where I make jokes, because guess what? Sensitives suck at money. Okay? We do. Can we just be real about that? We do. And there's no judgment here. There's no judgment. Because guess what? Our skills are in other places. Okay? They're in other places. So, story of my life right here. It's like, okay, now, it doesn't mean that we have to continue sucking at money. It just means that our inside soul belief is like, what the actual F, right? What? Like, if you ever had that moment, like, we go in so much deeper. Like, why do I spend so much money for eggs, right? Like, why do I spend so much money for coffee? It literally is a bean in the ground, right? Like, I don't get it. Like, here we struggle a lot. And here's the thing. We judge a lot. There is a lot of self-judgment with money. And this is where we compare. Now, let me tell you, I am a crazy person, okay? I mean, my past life was an alien. I mean, I sell air for a career. Like, I think I'm nuts. Okay, I think I'm nuts. On top of that, I don't know if you guys know this about me. Maybe you have if you've dug up some of my YouTube videos or if you've gone deep into the website and actually read some things. But I actually channel. Do you know what this means? I sit down and I close my eyes and something else opens. Now, here's a really cool thing that happens. We all talk about source, right? We talk about, manifesting energy and these things. So there's this really cool thing that scared the crap out of me one day. I'm sensitive to energy, so I have gifts, right? So I open up. I think I'm going to talk to the other side, right? Because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do that one day. I don't know. Like, I'm just going to explore. And all of a sudden, she comes through. Now, she is not really a she, right? Because it's like energy, but it is a feminine voice. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've always liked books like Ask It Is Given, Abraham and Esther Hicks. Like I followed a lot of that stuff for a while, and I think it's good, right? I like that. That's what opened me up to my spiritual journey. But it's not something that I really aspired to be. It's one of those things that I flipped through a book one time, like, that's so cool. What if I had a gift like that? Cool. And then went on about my life. This is where I tell you, be careful of your thoughts. Be careful what you wish for. Because I did not put any fear towards that statement because I wasn't thinking about it. I just said it one day and I released it because, I don't know, I didn't actually think I was asking for it. Now that thought took 7 years to manifest, but it manifested one day. And this voice started speaking through me. And I was so scared. Thank God Mom was there to help me through my mental breakdown, thinking that I was actually going to be admitted to psych hospital. And, it's so amazing what happened. She refers to herself as goddess, which I thought was so cool because, we all say God, goddess of the universe, right? Connecting to source, all these things. And it was this moment where everything started to make sense. The clarity happened for me in my life. And I'm talking about this now because I've had a few people reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, where's your book? Oh my gosh, like, where's all this stuff? Like, how can I get what you're teaching? And yes, I am teaching this, but I'm teaching from what Goddess teaches, from what she speaks through. She channels, she comes through, and she lays down the law. Okay, she tells me everything. She tells, she's, right? I take notes. After I channel, I'm like, okay, notes now. Okay, the equation for confidence, right? All these things comes from her. If you've been looking for a freaking miracle, like, dang, maybe that's why you're here. She is amazing. And I'll tell you what, Journey of the Soul, that album, I don't know if you guys saw that floating around, but it is my story on my spiritual journey. And it ends with how I met Goddess and who Goddess is. And she has this love letter and she has this reason for why she's here. And I'll tell you what, the clarity I think you need to hear here today is there is this beautiful love, divine love energy speaking through this. I swear too much. I make mistakes. I fall on my face. I do all, I'm not perfect. I'm not. And you don't have to be. The judgment that happens, right? What I love so much about Goddess is that she talks to the sensitive soul. So if you want to know how I healed my money, I've been working with Goddess, okay? She's been reframing some things for me. If you want to know how, like, trust me, there is something here so special. And I didn't plan on bringing this out on this call. It's kind of like my coming out party, right? Like, oh, I'm coming out. Like, I got this really cool thing that happens. But I want you, for those of you that are open to knowing more, that are open to seeing her, and, I don't know, I can put out a replay of something. It's not something that we have like wide out there on the website with replays and stuff. But I do want to open that up for those of you that are seeking more answers, because she is what has changed my life. And I will never sit here and claim that it is all me or that I'm teaching you this great thing that I came up with. I just teach you what happens and what comes forward. So love Goddess. Yes, a lot of people know her on here. Yes. Kayla is our amazing guide and Goddess is our miracle. Forever grateful for Kayla. Yes. I'm just the guide. That's all. I just have a cool connection. It's weird. It's crazy. But if you have an open mind, you're going to get a lot of clarity from this. And so just wanted to share that with you. It is something where the ultimate softening of, my soul has been through this. Journey of the soul is really great because there are 10 different phases of where we're at in the journey, right? It's like broken down into pieces. It's very, very easy. It's amazing. And what I love is that helps my manifesting so much, because we're going to weave in and out, right? The destination is alignment always. But when we hit alignment, we don't always stay there because we're a human. And so alignment happens, but we're going to weave in and out of things, right? And we're going to have moments of alignment, have moment of the breakdown, have moment of like, okay, you can only really awaken once, but the awakening process is difficult. It's difficult, and we go in and out of this journey. And so I love this album. It's one of those things where it's one of the first products that I really just sat down and channeled. I put the microphone on, I closed my eyes, and the whole thing came out. And after, when I listened to it back, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I was like listening to my story, but the first side is kind of my story through each phase. And then the second side are meditations for each phase. And Mom and I really sat down and wanted to, talk about that, because, not everyone can invest in something big, but there's always something here for wherever you are on the journey. And that album is, I think, like $24 or something like that. There is on our podcast. I don't know if you guys have checked out our podcast. Anyone listen to the podcast on iTunes? It's called The Morning Show with Tracy and Kayla. I will, oh, Claire, thank you so much. I got your private message. Okay. The Morning Show with Tracy. Hold on. And Kayla. Okay. If you go on there, we have the Journey of the Soul podcast by each phase. So if you go on there, it'll say Journey of the Soul, right? And you'll see it starts with awakening, right? And then you kind of go into all the phases. So it's so cool if you want to check it out, and kind of if you're looking for more on that journey and more of the sensitive side, highly recommend that. That will help you get clarity for alignment. Beautiful. Okay. Yes. Love starting my day with the podcast. So much fun. So where we're at today is getting very clear and honest with ourselves, right? Vibration. So I want you to take some time. It's okay. I want you to take some time and really get clear with yourself and honest with yourself. There's the future side, but there's today. And start to explore where you are today and what you need today to have relief. The PDFs are great. I've got some prompts for you and some questions there, so you can go over those and help you get clear. The last part is going to be asking for what you want. Right? There comes a time where you're going to ask for it. And I'm going to help you do that through intention. We are going to be doing that. And so we want to get clear first. Okay? On the connecting call this week, we are going to be setting some intentions and asking for that. Okay. Every one of Kayla's albums is amazing. No exaggeration. I'm a mom of 5 and I can't tell you how many times a 3-minute meditation can help. Right. It's not necessarily like quiet. It is, you know, high energy meditations. Yes. I've had such a hard time asking for what I want and need. And I think if we can just release some judgment here, perhaps the reason why is because we get stuck in comparison, or the doubt comes in, right? We don't have that confidence. But also, how can you ask for something that you know in your soul that you're not even sure what you're asking for? Right? So that clarity piece can be what makes all the difference for you, truly. Clarity. Now, I know getting clear about some things is going to bring up some triggers, okay? So maybe when you're doing these exercises, you want to set the scene, right? Kind of like what I was talking about with the candles. Put some music on. Really set yourself up in the best way possible. Maybe you know you're going to get into the bath after. That reminds me, I need to put out the free album, Pity Party Bath. I said that last time. Hold on. Pity Party Bath. I will post that on my page. You can do that after, and you can just let it out after, right? It's going to bring out some things. Do not be afraid to feel the feelings in your manifesting journey. If like, you got to be authentic, you got to be real, you got to feel the feels, right? It's something that you got to do, but you don't have to stay there. And so what's so great about the album is it kind of snaps you back, and you don't stay stuck there in that vibration. So that is there. I love listening to the meditations at lunch or on work breaks. I'm upset at work, come back and not want to strangle anyone, right? It really does help. Really does. Yes. I'm a Tracy and Kayla groupie, but seriously, take advantage of the free stuff the best way you can. Right. Totally. So we always like to have layers of what we offer. So yeah, that's cool. So Sheila, asking for help doesn't have to be directly to a person. Sometimes asking for help from the universe is enough, right? We can really, really ask for what we need to come through. And I think sometimes we even, like get a little nervous asking for help from divine love or source or God or God, all those things, because it brings up the question, who am I? Who am I? And this was the question that I had to answer on Journey of the Soul. Who am I? And I think I've been on that journey of really not being who I think I should be with this gift. But I'm Kayla, and I'm always going to be me, and I'm always going to wear black in spite of this really cool thing that I should probably be wearing all white. I'm always going to wear black. I'm always going to be me. And it's just this really cool thing that happens. It's not who I am. It's a part of what I do. And I think sometimes we really do need to remember that when we're calling in things, and embrace the side of who you are is enough. And I love that so much about the story, because as you get to know me more, you will hear moments of my life that are just like, dang, but I think that's helpful because, it's been a struggle and a journey, and you still get a beautiful ending. And I'm not even in the ending. I'm in the middle. There's ups and downs all over the place, but you reach a point in life where it doesn't have to be perfect. This year I experienced some heavy, heavy loss and some heavy, heavy grief. And yet at the same time, I can honestly say at the core of who I am, I'm happy in spite of these things, and they don't define me. And I'm still me at the end of the day. And I think this is why manifesting is so important, because we need to have our own vibrations. We need to have our own clarity. We need to have our own identity. And to me, manifesting alongside change is really finding out who you are and accepting it. Because guess what? When we feel good, we naturally manifest everything that we want. We naturally feel good. We naturally become beings where, you guys, sensitives are beings of love. Like vibrations. We don't have to really know all the steps. We just have to feel good. If you take anything away from this free course, literally, feel good. Does this make me feel good? How can I feel good today? Does this job make me feel good? What doesn't feel good about it? What would feel good, right? Like just like surround that question. That is how you can get a lot of clarity in your life. A lot of clarity. Beautiful. How are you guys feeling? Yay, 2 thumbs up, yay. I'm having so much fun with you guys. Oh my gosh, it's 11:11. Okay, I love moments like that. It's 11:11. So much fun with you guys. Tonight, I am going on a mini road trip with my sister. I'm just driving 4 hours, but I'm going to grandma's house, and I'm going to go adopt my 2 little kitties and then bring them home. So I'm going to be Facebook Living, obviously. So you guys can see the journey. That's what I'm doing today. But I just want you to know that I will be, I will. I'm going to be renaming one, which we were laughing about. Oreo is going to be Salem, and then Hunter's going to be Hunter. So I'll show you guys pictures and stuff. Yay! But I am so excited, and I just want you to know that I will be posting stuff, and anything that you need, anything that comes up, I'm here for you. And I know, I'm so excited, yay! And I just love you guys so much. Obviously, if you have any questions about like, what the F were you talking about? Like what was goddess? Like, what did you just say? Like, what's going on? Definitely feel free to email me. It does not annoy me. It does not insult me at all. I know it's like a really big thing that probably needs its own call anyways. So I just kind of like dropped a bomb and then, bye. So if you have any questions there or need any direction there, I can let you know. I love you guys so much. I will get this replay up before I leave tonight, so you guys can see everything. And I love you. Yes. Beautiful. This group energy is great. It is. So Claire, thank you so much. She was clearing behind the scenes. So if you felt any kind of swoosh of love, thank you so much, Claire. She is amazing. She's really stepping up as one of our leaders here, kind of on the healing side. So I love seeing that. Take initiative, Claire. Yes. Beautiful. She cleared me too, so thank you. We all need clearing, right? That's so funny. You're so welcome, you guys. You're so welcome. Claire is amazing. All righty. Let's go ahead and close down our call. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Closing down this space, closing down this call. Calling in clarity, honesty, vulnerability. Calling in no judgment. Calling in love. May we see signs of love today. May we inspire each other. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. You can open your eyes. Yay! I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know some of you are at work and still popping on here, and that's freaking awesome. It makes me feel so good that you guys really do put pride into showing up and, not just, I'll catch the replay. That feels really good to me. Thank you so much for being here, because these calls really are based on the energy of the group. So clearly, the energy of the group today, I was looking for an answer and really wanted to know who Goddess was because I did not plan that. So Anyways, if that was you, definitely email me. And I look forward to talking to you guys. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.